everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another Rumour Has It video. We're talking about players linked to the football club this summer transfer window. We're back talking about centre-halves, and we're talking about a potential loan deal for a centre-half that may send shockwaves through your very being, courtesy of an article, I think, from Luke Edwards of The Telegraph. We're going to get stuck into this in a minute. Just before we do, a little bit of a reminder, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you on board. We're over 5,000 subs now, so smash that button, come and join us. We've got a live show every Monday at 10 p.m. with me and Mark, and with what's going on, loads of pop-up content, like the Rumour Has It transfer video you're about to watch, and the odd rant from me every now and again. So worth considering, guys. Give it a smash. Come and join the Evermore community. We'd love to have you on board and enjoy some Newcastle United content. So what am I talking about? Right, so brace yourself, sit down, have a cuppa, relax, try not to get too angry at the two words I'm about to tell you. So the player that I'm talking about is this lad right here, Harry Maguire. I've just felt you spill your coffee all over your floor. You're shouting and bawling. What the fuck? Yeah, so Harry Maguire's name has been thrown at Newcastle United's latest transfer links. Now, there's been a few pundits already throwing Harry Maguire Newcastle United's way. I think they see Newcastle as almost a redemption destination for Harry Maguire to get himself back on track in terms of his performances, you know, as an England centre half. They still think there's a player there. They just think that he needs a change of scenery for Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag. I'm not entirely sure that is the case. I think that maybe Maguire is on the dip down. There still is a decent player in there, I think, but I'm not sure that he's better than what we already have in terms of playing for. Certainly not in the shape of Sven Botman or Fabian Schär, regardless of what Mark's stats are saying here on the screen. I don't think he's as good of a player. Mark's a fan of him. Certainly in England capacity, he thinks he is still a very good player. But this has all came about because Luke Edwards has done a piece in the Telegraph. Now, everybody's talking about the injury to Botman. You know, Craig Hope was talking about Newcastle might look at some options. But, you know, they've said repeatedly that they're kind of at the tipping point of FFP, that they can't spend any more money. Darren Neils has said they have to be creative. Now, what Luke Edwards has said is that there's no money available, is what he's been told by his club source, for another permanent signing. However, club sources have indicated to him that a loan may still be an option if it's an attractive proposition in an area we need to cover. So that has set the tongues wagging about Harry Maguire. So it looked like he was going to go to West Ham this window, but it hasn't quite happened. I think there's been talks about personal terms weren't agreed, or loan deals weren't agreed, or whatever it may be. But it looked like he was staying at Manchester United. Now, Manchester United don't want him, clearly. Ten Hag has been more or less adamant about that he doesn't want him back into the squad. I think they've just picked up an injury to Raphael Varane, I think has been breaking news today. So this might cause a bit of an issue for Maguire going anywhere, just because they just might not have the cover physically, you know, for that player, certainly with the Champions League about to begin in September. But let's have a look at the stats anyway, just for the crack, and I'll give you my opinion on Maguire. So comparing him to the Botman there, Mark has, you know, obviously 30 years old. He's a lot older than Botman. 31 appearances last season, to be fair. 1,600 minutes versus Botman's, you know, 3,700. So you can see he didn't get a lot of game time. Maguire had all started to go a little bit shit for him. In terms of 90 minutes, he was still putting in 1.13 tackles and interceptions, 1.32 blocks, 4 clearances, 3 aerials, 1. So he is still good in the air. True tackles 44, 66 passes a game, mind you, in terms of per 90 minutes. So still not too bad, and an 84% pass completion. I think one thing Harry Maguire does do is when he gets the ball at his feet, he can use it quite well. Where he's let himself down, you're about to see, is the defensive capabilities. Fouls, he was 1.04, and in recovery, 6.12. Now, the market value, Mark's got him at 17 million. I mean, once upon a time, this lad was an £80 million centre half, but Manchester United are struggling to give him away at the minute, which I think is why a loan deal might be a proposition if that injury of Varane isn't too serious. But let's look at the red, amber, and greens of Maguire before I give you my take on this. So the big worry here is the defensive statistics, and under the microscope, really poor from Maguire. So 21 percentile for tackles. He's in the 12th. Is it the 32? I beg your pardon. Tackles 1%. Tackles in the defensive third. I think he's up in the 58th there. Tackles in the midfield third. He's in single digits, 6 percentile. Dribblers tackled 7 percentile. So he really struggles to deal with somebody with pace and trickery. Interceptions, he's kind of in the middle. Blocks and clearances, he's up there. But from a defensive capability, that does not look like good stats at all. That it really doesn't. And you'd have to wonder what he would really bring to the lineup or to the squad. We did a video the other day there about per shares, and I think that he would probably bring a lot more to the squad, I think, than Harry Maguire would do. Yes, he would cost you 25 million quid, but I think I'd rather buy him at 23 than maybe bring a busted flush in like Maguire, in my personal opinion. In terms of his use of the ball, you see there his passes is decent, long passes is good, medium passes, his switches, his progressive carries, they're all kind of in the greens. Key passing's a little bit low. His aerials one, his touches are good. He's very rarely dispossessed, so he does use the ball very well. But what worries me the most about Maguire is he is prone to an error. Defensively, I think he's very fragile. Now, we have seen Eddie Howe perform miracles with footballers, and you never know. He gets a hold of Harry Maguire, maybe, just maybe, he could turn him back into the Harry Maguire that Manchester United paid 80 million quid for. And if he did do that, you've got to say it's a massive stroke by Eddie Howe. But him being 30 years old already, even if he did come into Newcastle on loan, did an amazing job. We did sign him permanently. He'd be 31, 32 the season after. So he's no younger than Fabian Schär. We need to think about the future. So that's why, for me, the likes of Per shares would be much better for bringing into the club than Maguire. But with this creative loan deal, maybe Newcastle might explore that option just for a bit of squad depth in case any injuries befall Botman or Schär again. And obviously, if anything does happen to Jamal Lascelles, but I think it's possibly more likely that when Emil Kraft comes back, he's used as an emergency right side centre half, as well as a right back as well. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you would take a punt on Maguire or not. I probably wouldn't, in all fairness. I think, I'd let him go to a West Ham or an Everton or something like that. West Ham will start the season superbly, but he's kind of got Everton written all over him, I think, really, in terms of the stage where he's at in his career. Now, he might turn around, he might prove everybody wrong, me included. But yeah, for me, I'm just not into Harry Maguire to Newcastle, to be honest with you. I think we should be aiming for better, and we could do better, I think, than where Maguire is right now defensively. But again, let us know what you guys think. We always like to hear from you. Smash a comment and we'll do our best to reply to it. And if you like this kind of thing, consider subscribing, like the video too, help the channel grow around YouTube. That's me done. We'll be back with some more transfer rumours before this window shuts, and hopefully Newcastle might surprise us and pull off a deal or two. Until then, we'll catch you later. Cheers now. Bye.